mystery of the obscene little Hampton letters is causing widespread distress across the nation.
Holy heavens. Carry on. Dear Edith, you foxy ass old whore.
In the end, I think it's just jealousy.
Do you feel certain that Rose Gooding's guilty?
I can't see why they think it's me. I'm on the verge of making history here. I was a bit roisterous once or twice.
This time you owned up to these letters.
Rose Gooding, who allegedly harassed a pretty young Christian woman.
What's the evidence?
Similarities in the language.
I think you've been set up, Rose. Is there anyone who'd want to do such a thing?
Have you got a pen and paper?
I like you, Rose, and I'd like to bring you to the light.
Why would I send a letter when I can just say it?
I'm not standing for it. We'll catch them in the act.
I noticed they say foxy ass a lot. Nobody swears like that.
What would you say?
You look like Queen Victoria shoved up her. You daft old...
Boom, there you go. That was the trailer for Wicked Little Letters, in theaters now. Don't pay attention to this. This date is wrong. My apologies. I must have used the wrong graphic. I just noticed it as we were going to get going. Wicked Little Letters in theaters right now. A nice little Brit film. It's a film based on some true events. So I think I'll, if you don't mind, Heather, toss it to you, since you know a little bit about the prehistory, and then we'll get into like the characters, the cast, and our full review. But you actually have the history, the historical people it's based on your screen. That
yes,
this way, y'all.
I won't go too far into like the actual true crime because y'all can read that. I know that our proficiency for reading in this nation is declining rapidly, but I'm pretty sure y'all can click a link and read it. But it's and I mean that
Heather with the punch.
I mean that also very, very affectionately. The story is fascinating. It's the story behind Wicked Little Letters. Edith Swan, played by Olivia Colman, who is an absolute gem of a human in every single way. She is kind of just living this really suppressed, very religious lifestyle under the thumb of the man of the house during the 1920s. And then she has this incredibly outspoken neighbor in Rose Gooding, played by Jessie Buckley. In real life, Edith's character is the same thing. She is married, though, in real life, but she kind of yearns for more attention, more ability, and she starts sending these heinous letters for the time, and she sends them to many people. But then she against the law, it is libel. She then points the finger at someone else. She points it at her neighbor, who is just this woman with children who's just trying to live her life, and it all falls into a mess when eventually, and I should say this, Rose's character, she only spends a little time in jail in the movie. The actual woman, I think she spent 3 years in jail. Like this was a real problem that this woman, that Edith's character, like who she is based on, she made a mess, a huge mess that impacted a lot of people. People were in jail and it was awful. Children were brought up without their mother. And it was one of those where all it was just someone not paying attention to the letters. But what's really, really cool about it, of all of the movie, even though some of it, a good chunk of it is kind of adjusted for the times to tell the story, how the movie ends is actually how Edith was found to be the actual culprit in real life. So the most true part is the end, and it's a lot of fun. So yeah, this is based off of real people. A lot of movies, even if they are fiction, are based off of real people, real experiences. So take some time, do some digging. Whenever it says it is based off, if it is loosely based off something, go find what it's loosely based off of. You'd be pretty surprised what history has in mind for you.
Awesome. Yeah. So I recall hearing certain things. We did like the trailer react to this, Heather,
Yeah,
and just enjoyed it. Olivia Colman, as you said, superstar, brilliant. So just like that quirkiness, to see her kind of do this role, she was gonna have a lot of fun with it. But what I was really surprised by, Heather, was let me make sure I get these names right. Was Anjana Vasan, who played police officer. What was her character's name? Police Officer Gladys Moss. And then
Woman police officer Gladys Moss.
woman police officer Gladys Moss, and then Rose Gooding, Jessie Buckley. Jessie Buckley plays Rose Gooding. Both of those actors, I just think were phenomenal. Hadn't seen a lot of their previous work before. Anjana apparently was in Spider-Man: Far From Home, as well as We Are Lady Parts, which I've been meaning to check that one out. I've heard a lot of good things about We Are Lady Parts. Also Black Mirror. And Jessie Buckley was in, I'm thinking of Ending Things, Wild Rose, Men. I haven't seen any of those, but those two actors I think were just brilliant in this. To go along with Olivia Colman's brilliance. Again, she's outstanding, but those two actors I think really held their own, and so I'm really curious to watch both those actors grow forward. But I thought this was a very fun, cute little film. Knowing that some was based on history, as I told you earlier, and I was happy to see that you pulled, some of the historical pictures so I could like see what they actually looked like. Yeah. So if we spoiled it for y'all, sorry. This is based on history. We gave it to you off the top, but this is a fun little film. With fun times with four letter words. It's just crazy how community just it's really actually showing how like social networking back then, before Facebook, how people will just assume and make assumptions off of people just because of they're a little wild, they're a little crazy. But there's really these people that are using others to just, to mask what they're really their intentions and everything. So it's super sad, super crazy, super wild. But I just it puts a magnifying glass on how we conduct ourselves and how we should be better humans. And yeah, I just really enjoyed this film. I was very pleasantly surprised. I enjoyed the trailer, but I didn't realize when I finally saw the film how much I would enjoy it. And just like that British humor made me like, man, my wife watches a lot of Britcoms. Like, I need to get with her, get her to check this one out, and then also dive into some of her other favorites. How about you, Heather? After screening it,
I went into it expecting that I love it. It is kind of a boring film. It's not a lot really happens, but what you do, if you're looking for something that's just fun and goofy and talks about history and gives you a perspective on misinformation and assumptions, this is a good film. It's a good film. It's not gonna have the action adventure that you're looking for. I'm sorry, but it's going to have some great acting, and I'm going to shout out, I'm going to say her last name wrong. I apologize. Lolly Adifone, I think that's how you say it. Fope.
Oh yeah, her. I remember her.
She plays Kitty, who is one of my favorite characters in Ghosts. The British one, the actual one. I'm sorry, guys, the American one's good. It's not better than the British one. So seeing her, like, I lit up. I was just like, oh my god, I love her so much. Even though she had a pretty small role, but is this movie going to, pique your attention? Are you going to see a whole bunch are you going to see true crime? No, you're going to see how crime can affect people and how just assumptions of who your perceptions of a person are wrong, and misinformation is easily widespread, and also that men need to sit the fuck down.
Hell yeah. Like, real talk. Like, I was just the moments with Officer Moss, women's Officer Moss, like, just again that divide from way back when. It just reminds you, we've come a long way, and we need to still continue to push the everything forward even more. And but yeah, I thought just everybody did a great job, and so excited to see all of these people progress. But a fun film. I enjoyed it, and you enjoyed it as well. It does have its moments, but I think it's the kind of story I expected from it. It's not all of that. And I think it played really well. So there you go, y'all. Wicked Little Letters. Put your letters in the comments below. Hopefully good about us. Let's talk about it. You got a thought. I don't know where I went with that, Heather, because then I think I baited in the wrong way.
No, look, if you're going to use cuss words, do it in the poorest way you possibly can. Do it like Edith. Make absolutely no sense. We are definitely an 18+ community. We use 4-letter words multiple ways, but I really want to start using 4-letter words in the worst way, most inaccurate way possible after watching this movie, because damn, does Edith do it wrong.
So there you go. Yeah. Oh, another thing, Heather gave me a great link to where some of this historical information about this film is at. I will put it in the description. So click there and or in the comments. With I'm very leery because YouTube can be a little wild sometimes with your boy. So it'll be there so y'all can check that out. But again, fun film. If you want to talk about it, hit us up. As well as our links are there as well. Let's keep it going. Nerds rule the world. Heather, your boy QP. We out.